Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? Michael Zuber, author of this wonderful book right here, 492 five-star reviews. Brother out, get me to 500 on Amazon. That would be great. I think we're almost at 200 on Audible as well, so that's pretty cool. Lots of stuff to talk about today. Again, this is a live stream. This is for you. I have collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's call it 9 topics from the week. But really, this is for you. So if you can leave chat, comments, whatever you want. If you want me to say hi, go right there. I will go through about 15 or 20 minutes of questions that I collected, and then I will just scroll to the top, and I will answer them as they come in. So far, what was it? Probably 90% of the time, I've been able to answer each and every question. Sometimes we actually get pretty deep because my assumptions are off, which is why I like doing these Q&A sessions. If you don't know, we do this live stream most Saturdays at 8 o'clock Pacific. I do a daily show at 7:30. I talk to multimillionaire experts Monday through Friday. We do a live show here Saturday, and on Sunday we do goals and community-based videos and stuff. So again, original content for you. You can go back and watch thousands of videos if you happen to do that. This is going to be interesting. Hey, Dion, how are you? Good morning. So let's get started. A lot of you sent me Ken McElroy's video on a second half crash in 2021. So I need to be careful here. I got a lot of hate mail or hate text or hate comments last time. So if you don't recall, Ken McElroy about 9 months ago put out a video calling for a 40% crash in single family homes in 2020. I very quickly created a video after that saying he was wrong. So let me step back and first give Ken all the props he deserves. I have read Ken McElroy's books, I think all of them. Ken McElroy is smarter, richer, better looking, more knowledgeable, blah, 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 blah. I'm a fan, but he's wrong. Ken McElroy hasn't been involved in the single family market in probably a decade. He has been buying hundreds of units of apartments for the last decade. He is where all of us want to be. He hasn't looked at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage home as an investment in forever. So to have him get out of his lane and talk about concentric circles and leads and lags and all of this stuff sounds really good, sounds really smart, but his conclusion that we are going to have a crash in the second half of 2021 as all these foreclosures and REOs pile up, it is just as wrong as his call 9 months ago that we were going to have a 40% crash. You can look at my videos. You can look at the day I did it. That's why I love YouTube, is just like my daily financial news. I'm not always right, but when I'm wrong, all of you let me know. And when I'm right, you know what? I want to take a victory lap. And I got this one right. He was wrong, as all the crash videos were. We're not going to have a crash this year. I have a second topic on this later I'll get into, but no crash 2021 single family homes, nationally speaking. And just to define a crash so we don't get all stuck on vocabulary, a crash, in my opinion, is something greater than 20%. It is not happening in 2021. Ken, tell us how to buy 100-unit apartment buildings, how to value a 500-unit Class A. Tell us about how you're going to refi the debt when the cap rate goes up in a rising interest rate environment. There are going to be some haircuts and some equity or capital calls happening. I'm not saying it's happening in your business, but you and I both know when property values get hit with higher cap rates, lower rents, higher expenses, it's not a good time to be in the commercial space. For the record, New York Times said in 12 months, the commercial office space in Manhattan, the center of the world, fell 25%. I know because I own apartments, and apartments kind of suck today, right? Rents are flat, vacancies up, expenses up. Houses, awesome. Rents up, no vacancies, high demand. So I'd love to say something other than Ken's wrong, but Ken's wrong. That video he put out a couple days ago, it can't happen, folks. The CFPB put out a note that basically says, banks, servicers, you must bend over backwards or we are going to come for you. Back in 2008, the word was, in 2021, it is going to be avoidable foreclosure. What was it in 2008? I'm drawing a blank because I'm all wired and pumped up. It was, strategic default. The banks forced people to strategically default, and they're looking at that going, ooh, I don't want to do that again. So now they're going to bend over backwards. We'll see what works out better. No crash. So yes, I saw the video. Yes, I wanted to say he was kind of right, but he is way, way wrong again. So anyways. So next question, I got 3 or 4 different ways. Basically, hey, Michael, thanks for the videos, blah, blah, blah. Are you telling me I should overbid 10 or 20%? First off, let's remember what this channel is. It's a one rental at a time channel. I do not give advice on home ownership from like homeowner occupied. I believe that is an emotional decision that I, as someone who knows nothing about you and nothing about your family, doesn't get a vote. My opinion doesn't matter. However, if you are doing one rental at a time, if you're doing the math, you're doing the daily exercise that my students do, and you get a good or great deal by overpaying, by all means, do it. I can tell you it's highly unlikely. I haven't offered more than asking in a year. Not that I wouldn't, but if there was a misallocation or a mispriced property that I could get a great return on by overpaying, believe me, I would do it. But that's not the environment we are in. So in 99.9% of the circumstances, I am not telling you to overpay. I'm saying do the math, know what's average, and then offer what is good or great. For those of you that aren't student, what that means is in my market of Fresno, California, today, the average return has fallen to 5%. Used to be 6. It changes all the time. It's now 5 because of all the competition. So if average is 5, I'm only going to try to do deals that are 7s, 8s, and 9s. It's that simple. If you're in another market and your average is 8, great. Go do 9, 10s, and 11s. I don't care. It's all math. The purchase price is just one variable in the calculation. So to be clear, if you are talking about offering 10 to 20% over on your forever home where you are going to raise your kids and they're going to go to school, don't ask me my opinion. It's likely an emotional decision. Do what you want. However, if you're following one rental at a time, I say do the math and only write good or great offers for your market of choice, whatever it is. So hopefully that answers that question. Next, I've got a couple of questions about, hey, is a townhouse or a condo like a single family home? When you say single family home, do you mean condo or townhouse? Yes, I mean those. Now, realize when you are talking townhouse and condo, you may have homeowner dues and things of that nature. It's an extra expense. And frankly, it's a mortgage you can't pay off because it's due every month. And oh, by the way, it goes up seemingly every year or at least every other year. So make sure it's in your calculation. But yes, I consider any single dwelling where you are going to rent to one tenant or one family a single family. If it has shared walls, it doesn't matter to me. Just make sure you're capturing all the expenses. Next. So I got, I don't know, they weren't really nasty comments. They were like, those little comments that try to zing you and show you how smart somebody else thinks they are. A lot of people think there's no chance housing can go up. And housing is a supply-demand phenomenon on steroids. So yes, I think appreciation is going up this year. I don't think it'll be as high as last year, right? Last year, call it 14. I think this year could be 7, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you really are going to be so arrogant to say that housing can't go up anymore, you're not realizing some pretty big unknowns that could really smack you in the face. For example, what if this sneaky CFPB, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, introduction of a 40-year loan becomes a standard? I remember when I was much younger, far too young to really know what was going on, but I seem to recall decades ago a 15-year mortgage kind of being the standard and a 30-year mortgage being that thing that's, oh my God, I have to pay twice the interest. Why would anybody do that? Guess what? Today, almost everybody gets a 30-year mortgage. And it doesn't matter that it's twice the interest of a 15-year mortgage because nobody thinks about that. They think about the payment. What if the 40-year becomes the new 30-year? Just what if? I don't know. It's out there. You can actually ask for it, at least in most cases. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but what happens if 5 years from now, 50% of the people are getting 40-year mortgages? Yes, they're going to pay twice the interest. No one cares. Well, almost nobody cares. What happens to the payment when you add 120 months? What happens when your payment goes down? Prices can go up. So again, when you sit there arrogantly and preach from your ivy tower and say there's no way in hell prices can go up, they're stretched to the limits and blah, 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 you don't know how many other levers that can be pulled. How about this one? Another one that has been talked about and will happen. We're not quite sure what the box is going to look like, but I don't know. I should say I, with great certainty, think in the next 12 months, we will see some kind of first-time homebuyer tax credit. And it will be at least 15 grand. Part of me thinks they're teasing us and it might be 20 or 25 grand. I think they are going to put a pretty tight box on it, right? I suspect you have to make less than 100 grand to qualify. I suspect it'll have to be under $400,000 purchase. They're going to put some boxes so that millionaires don't get a benefit is basically what they're going to do. But yeah, what happens if a $15 or $20 or $25,000 tax credit comes into the market right now? And oh, by the way, it's not recouped at tax filing. It's at the closing table. Prices go up. So in the end, there are lots of things that we could do to make pricing go up. And then the last thing, I say it all the time, is don't look at the chart on prices or values or whatever you want to call it. Too many of you are still looking at 08 and 2021 going, they're the same, or oh my God, 2021 is higher. Please run the payments. Please understand incomes are up. It's a complex formula to make affordability. And in most markets, we're more affordable today than 08. But check affordability. I did an interview with Matt. Was it with Matt or Dion? I think it was with Matt. We're talking about affordability in New Hampshire. It was Matt, and he said, "Oh my God, we're pretty low." So again, do the math for your area. Analysis paralysis. This was a question Dion asked me on for his channel. The video will be out next week or something. But how do you avoid analysis paralysis? And that's a great question, right? Too many of us get locked in a room. We beat up Excel. We do all of these things. We go lots of different directions. And if you're going to be a buy and hold investor, I kind of answer that question differently. I think about it this way. I believe you need to step back and you need to understand you need to answer only one question. You need to understand what is an average deal in my market. Now, that's probably going to take most of you between 30 and 90 days to figure out. Between those time frames, you're not writing offers. You're focused. You're doing daily work on your focused assets or your focused criteria. Doing the math, 20 minutes a day, every day. Boom, 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 boom. Building your spreadsheet, figuring it out. At the end of that, when you can confidently tell your friend, your wife, your husband, your daughter, whoever, the mailman, what an average deal is in city X, you're more confident. You know what good is. And again, I'll use Fresno today at 5%. Every offer you write should produce good 6 or 7 or great 8 or 9% cash on cash or yield. It is enlightening. It is empowering. It is the only question that matters. Understanding cap rates and internal rate of returns and discounted cash flow and all this other mumbo jumbo finance gobbledygook that's meant to confuse you, ignore it. Do the math. It's not even algebra, it's math. It's addition, subtraction, and division. That's it. Focus, daily execution. That's all it takes. All this other stuff, I don't, that's why you're stuck, is you're trying to do too much too fast. Okay, here's one. More inventory, price drops. So if you've been following me for the last 21, maybe 28 days, you can tell that I think more inventory is coming. We are sitting at record lows, about 1 million units across the country. Some of you have heard me say inventory is going to double, and I think it will. It'll go from 1 million to 2 million a lot faster than you think. Because people are people, and I've been following the consumers for almost 30 years and following real estate for 20 years. People want to move, and just like we talked about in the daily financial news a half hour ago, the president of Zillow agrees with me. Inventory is coming. People want newer, bigger, better, blah, blah, blah. They're going to move, and that means they're going to sell. But some of you heard me say inventory is coming, in quality differences and price drops, and you're like, see, I told you it was going to crash. Oh my God. No. This is what's going to happen. Inventory goes from 1 to 2 million. The prettiest, the nicest, the most well-done houses sell like that, quick. What you're going to see is some people that did a half-assed job or haven't updated since the 80s. They're trying to get this price instead of this price. That stuff's going to sit longer. And yes, those units that are not up to quality are going to have price drops. But that's not a crash, folks. Why are you all looking for a crash? It's not coming. But here's the deal. I believe many YouTube channels, YouTube entertainers who are out there getting your money via ads instead of trying to help you be better, they're going to tell you this statement or a version of this. Housing prices or housing appreciation crashed 50%. Now, if you look at that, the word crash and falls 50%, that might catch your attention. You're going to click on that. But that's where statistics and numbers lie. What is going to happen, and I think is very likely, let's just call 2020 price appreciation 14% to make the math easy. If 2021 appreciation is 7%, that statement I shared is accurate. Housing appreciation crashes 50%. Think about that. It was 14, it's now 7. It's 50% of what it was. And heaven forsake, falling 50% is a crash. We know all of that. But these jackasses are hurting you. If it was 100 and now it's 107 instead of 114, is that a crash? And oh, by the way, interest rates will be higher at the end of the year than now. So not only is prices higher, but value or interest rates are higher. So your payment is double hit. It hurts me when I see people play with statistics, because as an economist or what I studied in school, you can twist those numbers 17 different ways and technically be right, but confuse or hide the truth. Again, think about what I'm saying. Housing appreciation crashes 50%. If you hear that statement, what do you think? Oh my God, prices have crashed. No, they're going up 7% instead of 14. Anyways, so I think that's what's going to happen. I got a quote. I was going to pull it up. I don't know if I can now. About want to know what the shortcut to wealth is? I wish I remembered who said this. I got it in a comment, one of my videos. The shortcut to wealth is stop looking for a shortcut. focus, and daily execute. That's what I've been talking about for quite a while. And then lastly, I want to encourage you to talk about money more. I had a great conversation with Anna Kelly yesterday, and when I think it was video number 2, we talked about, was it wealthy kids, I think? Really getting your teenagers to think about money. It's something I have a particular passion for. I think the school system creates workers, not investors. And, I want the next generation to be better than mine, right? My generation, Gen X, was kind of like go to school, get a good job, make a lot of money, spend a lot of it. I want to help the next generation. So that's what I got for today. Let me scroll up and see what y'all kind of questions you have. Not very many comments. Remember, if you want to ask a question, leave a comment. We will see what's here. So first up, Dion, how you doing, buddy? Mike, good morning. All your videos talk about single family is the place to be. Does that also include duplexes? So Mike, usually when I say single family homes, I do mean residential loans, which Mike, is fourplexes and below. But when I talk about appreciation and, talking about Ken McElroy and all of that stuff, that's very single family related. If I were to talk about residential loans and commercial loans, I would lose a lot of people. So it's easier to talk about single family. So yes, 90% of the time, I'm talking residential loans, which is fourplexes and below, and commercial 5 and above most of the time. I'll try to be clear. It's hard though, but yeah, you are correct, Mike. Hey, Nathan, how are you? Good morning. Tamika, good morning. How are you? There was a natural death or persona. Good morning. Let's see what you got. Natural death in property. After escrow started, can we negotiate a price reduction? How much should I proceed further? Although seller will clean and paint. Yeah, that's a material difference. I don't know if everybody knows this, but that is, there are some people, some cultures that view that as a very bad thing. And that could affect future property values. I don't know what your intention is for that. I don't know what your persona, I don't know what your intention is for the property. You have to remember what are we in? April of 2021. So if you try to negotiate, the seller could say, sorry, escrow closed, and they could sell to someone else. I don't know your market. I don't know your condition. I don't know your plans. I don't know any of that. But I don't know. The answer is yes, you can ask for a discount. It's a material change. How much? Up to you. I don't know what the purchase price is. I don't know what the future is. I don't know. I no idea what to ask for. I need a lot more details. It's up to you to proceed. I don't know. Again, I don't know your market. These are really open-ended questions. But you can exit escrow if you are like if it was going to be your house and you don't want to move in and think about, oh my God, somebody died in this room 3 months ago or whatever it is. You can cancel escrow. Absolutely. You can ask for a discount. It's your call. Yes, that is something you could do. It is nice they're going to clean and paint. That makes me nervous. What are they going to clean and paint if it was natural? Anyways, I don't know. Yeah, but you can. James, okay, what do we got? Could you provide an example of seller financing for a single family home asking $235? Owner is a tired landlord. Oh, with it paid off, I don't have enough for 20% down at the moment, so may ask for seller financing. Yeah, I mean, James, lots of ways you could do this. So I don't know how much you have. You say you don't have 20% down. So I'm going to assume you have 10% down. I'm just going to assume. So James, you could walk into the guy and say, hey, 35, I'm going to pay you 240 grand. I'm going to give you 10% down, which is 24 grand. And I need you to finance the rest, which is what? 240 minus 24 is 216. I need you to finance $216,000 at 3% interest only I would ask for 10 years. There you go. Seller financing. And oh, by the way, if you talk to the seller, on that. Remind them that that's good for them for taxes, because year one, although they will pay taxes on because they've created an installment loan, they'll pay taxes on the 24 grand, which is your down payment in this example. And I don't know, what would that be? 6 months of interest, 8 months of interest. So tell your seller that they will pay less taxes in 2021 if they sell to you. Also tell them you're going to pay 5 grand more than they want. You're going to make that up by getting a lower interest than you could get at a bank. You're going to get 3% interest only for a decade. And at the end of a decade, if it's not obvious, it's a balloon payment. You've got to sell or refi to pay them off. There you go. Good luck, James. And I did that off the top of my head, so there's lots of other ways you can do that. Mike. Oh, where did Mike go? Another question. We have a 6-bedroom, 4-bath rental in Covina. Ooh, that's big. And we're thinking about renting it out to people that would operate it as a group senior home. Any experience or thoughts? So first off, no experience. Haven't done that. Probably wouldn't do that personally. I don't need to change my model to squeeze out basically rooms for rent, right? A couple of things I'm thinking about there is it sounds like you're in a community, meaning there are other 6-bedroom, 4-bath homes around you. It sounds like it. I could be wrong. Maybe you're on 20 acres by yourself. I don't know. But I imagine your neighbors are going to be up in arms about that, I would guess, just knowing lovely California. You're also going to be, you're going to be assuming some kinds of liability, although you could probably triple net lease it to someone who would operate. It's probably how I would do it, do a triple net so you can remove yourself from that. Yeah, the biggest thing for me is, again, no experience per your question. Neighbors, right? I live in a community like that, not quite that big, but big enough. And somebody tried to Airbnb around us, and boy, we lit him up. So he ended up selling. And what else? Yeah, probably doing a triple net if you're going to let somebody else operate it would be the way I would go. Just off the top of my head, Mike. Good luck. Adam, Biden's infrastructure plan seeks to ease housing with looser zoning rules. Yep. The proposal program of at least $5 billion would offer grants to cities and towns to towns that relax regulation on apartments, multifamily. But yeah, correct. I don't see the question. Adam, your statement is correct. It is a proposal as of right now, I believe. But yes, the federal government, i.e. Biden, is looking to reward states and cities or municipalities to relax single-family zoning. That is a true statement. If there's a question behind that, Adam, leave it below because I don't see the question. Can you give a 60-day notice to get tenants out if they are on month to month? You certainly can. Yes, you can. It's not a guarantee they'll get out. You may have to evict afterwards, but you can certainly give them a notice. Yes, assuming it's in your lease. The lease that they signed may say it's 90 days. I mean, I haven't seen that, but again, the lease that the tenant signed states the rules, and once they go month to month, the lease takes over. I believe my lease says that either party can cancel or could give notice. I think I have 60 days in California. Yes. Yep, you can. Realize, again, it doesn't say here, realize that because of rent control, you may have to pay moving expenses if this is California. I don't know. Because again, that lovely rent control thing that went into effect last January. Hey, Ultimate Bargains or Jeffrey, how are you? I listened to those YouTubers last year and prices went up 30% in my area. Yeah, most of the people that I see on YouTube talking real estate have 5 years or less experience, maybe 6. And they haven't been through the last crash. I've been doing this 20 years. I'm only on single family. Ken McElroy is awesome, for example, but he's been playing in a small deal to Ken McElroy is $10 million. A small deal to me is 80 grand. I'm playing in the same area most of you are, and I do it every day. Yeah, they're just wrong. They're hurting people, frankly. You keep bringing up interest rates increasing. Any chance that the government might step in and try to keep bond market down so the interest rates don't increase until summer of next year? Absolutely, Daniel. I've said many times, I believe interest rates are going to force the 10. Now we're talking 10-year. I believe the 10-year is going to force Jerome Powell to introduce Operation Twist. I've done several videos on it. It's only been done twice. From memory, the first time was 1968 or something when the gold standard was still in effect, and then the other time was it 2011? I don't remember, but you can search on my channel for something called Operation Twist. I believe Operation Twist by Jerome Powell happens this year for that exact reason. The 10-year takes off, 30-year gets more expensive. Operation Twist means they're going to buy this, sell that. They're going to try to force rates down. And it'll work for a little while. But the bond market, folks, is like 10 or 15, maybe even 20 times bigger. Even the Fed can't beat the bond market forever. The bond market's trillions of dollars. So yeah, it'll work for a little while. And it's going to be called Operation Twist. It's been done twice. So yes, I believe that's absolutely going to happen. Interest rates rise, Operation Twist, interest rates low. It's exactly what I think is happening. Can you explain how you use private money for long-term buy and hold? It is just acquire and then you refi, or do you have long-term private money? That's a conversation you have with the lender. I have some private money. I've never done anything longer than 10 years, but I have, I'm going to round it because I don't know exactly. I don't add this stuff up. Probably $2 million, maybe 2.2, lent out at 10 years. At 8%, some at 8, some at 10 actually. But yeah, the way you get out of it is you refi out. Yep. So I used private money, and again, if you're in the course, it's there. I used private money to acquire, I don't know, it might have been over $4 million in 2010 or 2011. About half that's been refied out already. But yeah, you got to talk with your lender. Some want short, like today. Some people want less than a year. Some people are happy. You know, I started offering 10 and people were going, I don't need 10, I'll take 8. So I took some at 8. But yeah, you just got to talk to the lender. Private money is wonderful, especially in an environment where, you know, they're getting less than 1% in the bank. The whole key is to let people know what you do. Protect them. Always first mortgages, my opinion. Always named on insurance. You got to do right by the lender. But yeah, if you do this well and your reputation grows, you can have more money, access to more money than you have deals. Yeah. Are you taking advantage of increased equity in your rentals, cash out refinance? The answer to that is no. I already have enough cash. I've done 6 or 7 refis in the last 8 months, mostly commercial, because I want to remove the interest rate risk. Again, single family, fixed rate debt, commercial 5 and above, interest rate risk. I believe interest rates will be higher in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So I've been actively refining all my commercial loans. I think I just finished my last one, or maybe I got one more. All my interest rate risk is now 7 years. So I did rate and term. I paid my prepayment penalty. I paid like 2 points because I had 2 years left on the prepay on one of the loans. Folks, if it's not obvious, I do what I talk about on my channel. So I've removed all my interest rate risk to now 7 years on all my commercial loans. I might have one more that's in process, but that's 7 years out. I did rate and term, Tamika, on everything because, again, remember where I'm at. I increased cash flow for, I don't know, between $4 and $5 grand by just rate and term refis in the last 10 months or whatever it's been, 12 months. But that's where I'm at. If I was building still, like if I was still in phase 1 that I talk about in my book, I would have done cash out refis. Everything I did in the book is what I would do again, right? If I was still building, I would be doing cash out refis. I wouldn't create an alligator. Remember that story from the book? But yeah, I would be doing cash out refis if I was growing, but I'm not growing, or at least not growing fast. So hopefully that makes sense, Tamika. And if it doesn't, ask below again. Sorry if I was confusing. Can you ask for seller financing your property is listed with real estate agent, or is that only off-market deals? Yeah, you can ask for seller financing on anything you want. Most sellers are going to say no. Really, where seller financing works is one of two ways, usually. One, if they have no equity, and that is basically subject to or lease option or all these crazy and likely to become very frequent transactions in the years to come, or if they have lots of equity or they own it free and clear. So what I would do, Layla, in this example is, and it's usually in the agent notes, it's usually not publicly available, is ask if sellers, what kind of offers the seller's interested in. Today, because the market's so hot, it usually just says conventional or cash. But sometimes it'll say seller financing. Oh, in today's environment, it's probably less than 5% of the listings that will look at seller financing, but there are out there. I've bought a dozen properties seller financing that were listed on the MLS, because again, that's what I do. I buy on the MLS. So you can, but just realize, just coldly offering seller financing on most listings, it won't get you anywhere because it doesn't fit. Most owners have 10 to 40% equity, and they need that equity to go into the next property. Most people. Oh, question. Jeffrey, Ultimate Bargains. Are you seeing any good or great deals from wholesalers? I haven't seen a good or great deal from wholesalers since January of 2020. The last deal I bought from a wholesaler was a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath in January of 2020, before this whole thing started. I haven't seen a good deal from a wholesaler. I haven't seen an average deal from a wholesaler. No, I mean, not even close. I would say of the last 20 deals I've seen from wholesalers, they are at retail or above. The wholesalers are going to go broke here soon, in my opinion. They're doing huge marketing spends. The deals are not there, just not there. Let me know if you are, because I haven't. Jeez, gosh. Oh, Layla. I made an offer on a 55K house where there's 20K in back taxes owed. So the seller would take part of their proceeds and pay off the taxes. No, Layla, in the student spreadsheet, you would put 55K. You're paying 55K. And then don't forget make ready, because I'm going to guess there's a bunch of make ready costs there. So no, 55 grand, Layla. No, 55 grand. It doesn't, you don't care as you're taking 55 grand out of your account. Remember, that's what we're doing. You don't care how it's divided up. If it was 20 grand for taxes and 10 grand for fines and 5 grand for this and 5 grand for that, and the seller walks away with $1, you don't care. You're moving 55 grand. Paul, I found a fourplex in the Bay Area that hasn't been sold for the past. Okay, I don't know what that means, but sounds like you found a fourplex. Congratulations. Corey, how often do you try to get a better deal through dual agency? So what Corey's asking there, if you don't know, or at least what I think Corey is asking, is how many times do you go to the listing agent and offering them both buyer and seller? So first off, Corey, I would give that to any agent that brings me a deal off market, which can happen. I guess the answer to your question, Corey, is as frequently and as often as I think it will benefit us getting deals. I would say in 2020 or 2021, certainly half the time. Certainly half the time. It's just a market with no inventory, dude. We got to do everything we can to get inventory. Paul, oops, one echo. Craig, how much higher do you guess house prices nationwide will be in 20? Oh, nobody's asked me that question. 2025 compared to now. God. I don't know. I'm going to take that down. I'll do a video on that because I think there's a lot of things that go into that. That's a great question. 2020 higher interest rates. I can tell you this much, Craig. Housing will be less affordable. Less affordable, right? Interest rates will be noticeably higher. Even if prices are flat, affordability is going down, man. It's going down, down, down. 2025. Wow. I don't know. I will do a video on that the next couple of days. I need to think about that. I want to get some numbers too, so I'm not just guessing. I will answer, Craig, but I can't do that today because I want to put some thought into that one. That's a good question. I've never thought about that far out. All right, so Paul, I found a fourplex unsold for 120 days. Ah, got it. Been listed a long time. Got it. Because it's in a rent-controlled area with below market rents. Got it. Any tips on how to price my offer? Should I even take this on? Well, so a couple of things. It sounds like it's in California. Just guessing, or I guess it could be New York, but I'm going to guess California. What I would do in that situation is I would value the property on existing rents, and the seller is going to hate that. The seller wants you to value it on future rents and all the rents you can use, and oh, I know it's 800, but it could be 1600 and blah 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 blah. Don't you dare. Only value the asset based on what it rents for today. And oh, by the way, the seller is going to hate that. The seller will, that's why it's been listed 120 days. The seller is valuating the property on future rent, and buyers want it on current rent. And right now, there is a huge gap. That's just where we are. Should you take it on? Don't know. Don't know your reserves. Don't know your appetite for pain. It will be painful to remove the tenants. I would want a huge discount to take that on, and no seller in today's hot market is going to do that. That seller is looking for an idiot new buyer to overpay. That's what the seller's, it's a fourplex. I can already hear the seller. Frankly, if I was the seller, I would do the same exact thing. Let's just say the fourplex at existing rent is worth 400 grand. I'm just making this up. But a fourplex down the street with market rents is worth 500 grand. Let's just make this up. I'm going to list my fourplex at 500 grand because fourplexes are based not on income. That's commercial. They're based on comps. But if you follow one rental at a time, you're going to do it on income. So that seller is looking for an idiot new buyer to overpay. So my suggestion, don't be an idiot new buyer. But again, I don't know your situation, the market, all of that. I can only answer, I would not take that on because the seller wants too much, in my opinion. When I sell a property, do you always use a realtor? With the market so hot, not sure I see value add, or your thoughts? I would say, yeah, most of the time I use a realtor. Yeah. I have sold some off market, just direct, but I sell most via realtor. Part of it's because I don't want to do the disclosures and all of that, all the paperwork that's involved. So yeah, but I get a discount, Mike. That's one thing, right? I don't pay 6%. If I bring the seller and buyer together, I might pay 3% total. So I get a discount for sure. But yeah, I use a realtor most of the time. But also, I don't sell a lot. I keep a lot more. How much higher do you guess mortgage rates in 2030? Jesus Christ, I don't know. It's a decade away. I don't know. You know what? I'll add that question to the 2025 question because I think that will go together. But I'm not going to talk 2030. That's too far away. Yeah, but I'll talk 2025. Look for a video sometime this week. Where are we at? Yep. Good morning. My property values are up in my market. As you mentioned, they are in Fresno. Have you raised your insurance values on any of your policies? Do you recommend we should? Yeah, I have. I look at my policies once a year. We have that conversation. It's scheduled actually with my insurance broker because we have them all. Well, actually, we have several. Anyways, yeah, we raised them. Well, I don't know. We look at it every year, and we raise some every year. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would. Again, I've had 3 fires in 20 years. So yeah, you bet your ass I look at my insurance. Yep, I do. Yes, absolutely. Is it better to rent a house out right now or leave it vacant in California with moratorium and likelihood of being extended? It seems to be going on endlessly. I believe the landlord's number one job is tenant selection. And again, I've been pretty clear of the hundreds of tenants I have, only 1 or 2% are being a problem, but that's kind of normal. Tenant selection, it's on the landlord. I would not leave it vacant. No freaking way I would leave it vacant. I don't know. If I was in San Francisco or Oakland, I might leave it vacant, but they have way, way crazy rent control stuff. Well, first off, I would never buy in San Francisco or Oakland, so forget that. No, I wouldn't leave it vacant. I would be very selective on what tenant I would put in. Layla, oh, I read that a theme park, Six Flags, is coming to Fresno. Will that change property prices in Central Valley? I would think so. Layla, if you find that article, can you send that to me? Actually, I didn't hear that. Six Flags. Dude, Fresno is going to be popping for the next decade. I like it. I like it. I didn't hear that. That's going to be good news. What is your advice for first-time home buyer in this market? I'm in Phoenix. Arizona houses don't last very long. I'm thinking to wait until October. Yeah, Javier, first-time home buyer has been the roughest market I've seen. I say do the work, keep doing the work, don't overpay. I've been pretty clear, hopefully, that I think inventory is coming. You have a lot of Phoenix and Scottsdale neighbors who are sitting on gobs of equity. They're going to want to move to a nicer, prettier, cleaner golf course community. Inventory is coming. With inventory comes options. With options come less competition. It's up to you. I don't know how long you plan to live in it. I really don't like talking about owner occupant homes because I just don't know your situation, right? If you're going to live, raise your kids there, have them go to school there, again, like I said earlier, my opinion shouldn't matter. Did it feel painful to pay for your expensive vacation even though it's nothing to you? Oh, that's a great question. No, it didn't feel painful. Um, no, it's it actually felt really good. So if you don't know, I put out a video probably 3 weeks ago talking about, damn it, we're getting into the light. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. We're going away. I actually had the travel guy on my channel to talk about it because I think it's important. So let's just try to put some round numbers on this. So the base trip for that would have been about 6 or 7 grand. We went all out, first class tickets, Butler cabin or Butler, whatever, I guess called cabin. I don't know. Highest view, pool. We went all out. It's going to be like 18 grand or something. Hell no. I was happy I did it. And I'm going to do more of that. I'm not into things, but I'm going to start experiencing more. And I'm going to bring you along for the journey. And yeah, I hope to do a lot more things. Yeah. So no, it wasn't painful. It was, I was so happy to be able to do that. It was nothing. The greater fool theory. Yep. Yeah. There's the other thing that's going on now is there's a lot of leverage in the stock market. That makes me nervous. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ultimate bargains. Yeah. Seller financing. Yeah. Yeah. That might be an option for you. Yeah. Paul, thank you for the thoughtful response. Just bought a copy of your book. Cool. In lieu of super chat. Super chat. I don't even know what super chat is. Your thoughts about buying rental real estate in SFO, Oakland, Bay Area? I would not touch San Francisco or Oakland. Personal preference. I think their rent control, tenant rights is extreme, borderline on thievery. I would not put $1 in either of those markets. My personal preference. I have a townhome with HOA of 130. Do I have to pay that when I'm ready to rent it out? Somebody has to pay it. What you mean by you? Yeah, what I would do in that situation is I would pay it. Like if I was going to rent out where I'm talking to you from, we would pay it still, but that would be part of the rent collection. but we wouldn't divide that up for the tenant. You got it. I'm glad you like it. I have fun too. If you guys don't know, these Saturday sessions are fun for me as well. I truly enjoy it. Have a great day. Awesome. Take care. Do you ever try to talk to your daughter into starting to work the real estate business? I talk to her about money. That's where we are these days. We talk about money, not so much real estate investing. We are talking about money. Yeah. Kristen, I think what we're going to, so again, think about what I said earlier, Kristen. I don't know if you saw it, but I think what's going to happen is housing price appreciation will crash 50%. I think it goes from 14 to 7. So yes, I think national appreciation is 7% this year, but it's a crash. And I say that with jazz hands because all these other entertainers are going to be mean and say it's crashing when it's up 7% versus 14. All right. Well, that was a great Saturday session. 51 people watching, only 22 thumbs up. Come on. I talked for 50 minutes and only got 22 thumbs up. That's disappointing. All right, everybody. Oh, we got one more. Do you ever find it difficult to remain positive sometimes as a YouTuber? Yes. 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 I mean, being a YouTuber or putting out daily content where you get attacked or hate, or you see that negativity sells is so frustrating. But again, I come at this truly because I can, because I want to help. And 2 years of daily content, right? I average 4 videos a day. I hope consistency and joy for life pays off. But yeah, being a YouTuber, not good for your mental state sometimes, for sure. Matt, a couple more questions, then I got to jump for my students. Grant Cardone's philosophy of rent where you live, rent out what you own. I think some of that's a marketing shtick. I bet you if you uncovered the layers of entities, Grant Cardone owns that penthouse or whatever he lives in Miami. He may have it rented or owned by some freaking entity that he rents from. I think he's a marketing genius. So I think it's a shtick. I can tell you that I am very happy to own my home, and I believe everybody should own a home. So maybe that answers the question. Maybe that answers the question. I think everybody should own their home. Unless you're a traveling nomad and you're bouncing around the world, most people should own their home. Awesome. Oh, wow. You're retired. Good job, Jeffrey. That's got to feel great. We can talk about that later. All right, everybody, I'm going to go talk to my students in about 7 minutes. Bye-bye.